Despite holding his own against solitary Sioa, Roman Reigns has been struggling in recent weeks. The game of numbers became for him to handle if Sioa wasn't sufficient, along with including Tatong and Jacob Fatu into the blend was ineffective, leading to the first. For weeks, the tribal chief has been missing, is obviously in critical need of sympathizers, but would he also need their help with the hope of rectifying the situation soon, who has won 10 titles? Crucial championship match. The solution is not definitive yes or no. It continues to be a separate. One reason for this is because the 10-time, the winner in this situation is undoubtedly compared to just a guy who, over the years, has said that he had completed all of his tasks. It would not come as a shock to his family for Roman Reigns to turn to his loved ones, seeking assistance, which may cause him to take startling turn on Raw, during which he considered returning to their primary event. But this strategy is simpler, beyond what might have been accomplished without the guidance of the elders Paul has. Hyman's presence makes even Roman Reigns unable to make errors, and specifically the error arrives in a haphazard effort to assist Jey Uso's victory against Braun Breaker in the Intercontinental Championship. Despite reigning, might perhaps provide a hand. Maybe Jey will observe. Changes things in the end. Were not quite amicable at the conclusion. Terms when Jey saw that Roman may confront him rather than embrace him, certain that his presence would endanger him. Coincide, regrettably, his behavior, his concentration to wane, enabling the Breaker to put money into it, stopping the 10-time, prevent the tag team winner from winning his. As a singles player, it would be reasonably the tale, but for the time being, it stays limited to simply. Report suggests that a WWE expert thinks Roman, back at SmackDown, Reigns will be in startling style, a possible show outside of Roman on Raw to bring on Uso. When will Reigns make his SmackDown return? An earlier appearance on the Brand in Blue, reportedly, he departed from the arena, humiliated after being exposed by single Sioa. Beside lineage, considering the facts of his return is looming in the horizon as he searches for implement his betrayal, and if a WWE expert is to be believed, it might happen as soon as next week. Sam Roberts, who is not Sam in the fight industry podcast, thinks Reigns has the potential to come back on Monday. Slam dunk for the uninitiated. Cody is set to go up against single Sioa. Rhodes in a cage next week beside WWE's defending champion title on the. Okay, so because this is SEO, we are discussing the family tree, will inevitably discover a means to assist their indigenous community. This is the site of the old tribal chiefdom. The chief enters and begins to eat an American. Worst nightmare ever. Unexpected. Naturally, there's no way to know. If Robert's forecasts materialize, we are all going to have to be patient and wait till next week to find out what happens. But one cannot dispute that it would be absolutely a moment when Roman Reigns paused behind the scenes, closely following the WWE on television as the cosmos erupted with a shout as it braced for the central incident that the chief of the tribe had out of the limelight for a while. Few weeks of resting to let his body recuperate and reconsider approach with his lineage is disintegrating around him. Yet, this evening was unique. Roman was aware just how big this was going to take place in the finals that may alter the scene completely in. WWE is prepared to go into glory. Was Randy's 10-time winner. It was Orton's goal to win his 13th World Championship, a remarkable achievement that would ensure his place in history as a prominent, most formidable adversary of all time. His rival Seth, the current champion, Rollins, is also one of those males that could compete with Orton's ring abilities. Roman's schemes omitted being caught up in this competition, but from time to time, destiny manages to impose aspects of your life that Roman had sensed, mounting criticism from every quarter. He had not participated in a significant plot ever since the fissures in the family tree came to light. Although this pairing was unique, he was aware that Randy Orton came out on top in his own right, could face danger when Orton was a determined competitor. He could take on any killer with support from admirers, notables, and even some upper-level officials. Roman had to step into Orton's shoes. Rollins engaged in a legendary altercation. Expert wrestler Roman paced hallway. After Orton's victory, he was aware that terrain would undergo a drastic transformation when probable supporters opting for Orton rather than him. That plan A or wasn't inside Roman's budget. Alternate strategy. Paul Heyman, could you please inquire from? On Roman's side, his worried expression on his face. With clenched jaw, Roman refused to disrupt the course of this match, to the point that it no longer fit with his style. Yet, seeing Orton unleash a rumbling, smashing blow to Rollins, who is then hit with Dark Knight, Roman's deity sensed his determination. A Roman whispered, indicating Heyman, who bolted off in the other direction to get things started. The ensuing mayhem within the arena, the bout was nearing its peak performance. The advantage had shifted to Orton when he hit, using a precisely timed, because everyone there knew that if Orton attempted to cover, but the referee slipped into position just in time to prevent his hand from touching the ground. During the 3 counts, the illumination flickered. The mass of people startled when Roman's music exploded around the arena, and there it was. That old sight depicts the chief of the tribe making his way down the ramp, sent shock vibrations across. Heckler Orton got on his hands and knees, twisted in an expression of wrath and uncertainty as to Roman's presence. This is his opportunity to leave an indelible mark in the past. Once again, Roman shifted. Gradually, he fixed his gaze on Orton, was not there to confront him in any way. Nonetheless, the point was made. Roman desired, who was really in charge of the performance, to remind Orton. With WWE, the diversion was sufficient for Seth. Rollins always strives to avoid squandering. Chance capitalized on Orton's brief disorientation when Rollins whirled around to face Orton, stomped on him, sending shockwaves, the audience in a tizzy as Orton's smashing his skull into the mat. Rollins promptly shielded the referee, Orton. The bell rung when the countdown reached 3, and that honor remained with Rollins. Orton was positioned without moving, hardly able to comprehend what had. Suddenly, Roman found himself standing at ringside, deadpan, his face betraying his emotions as the revelers doused him with alcohol. He were not physically present, but his just being there had cost Orton the game. Fallout in the strategy to create changes offstage, perched on his individual changing area, bending over his fists clenched in contemplation. In respect to what had just, it became out that the plan all along was to convey a message to WWE and Orton Universe so that he doesn't lose the contest. But the implementation was flawed, and tragically, Roman's situation deteriorated further. Physician Hyman Paul stormed into the room. In your haste, Roman, you must resolve this. Furious Randy Orton and his followers. Roman, ignore him. It's my problem. He wasn't. Erroneous. Orton was already really angry. Discussing in interviews, Romans lost him the opportunity to become a legend. There was a commotion among WWE fans as they yelled, not to mention Roman for reintroducing in a story that wasn't really his. It was becoming too much for Roman to bear, to watch things spin out of control, and he proceeded. That is when the notion dawned on him. Instead, he would give Orton opportunity to redeem themselves. Roman, swear on my honor that Orton received, having a second, unobstructed go at winning, complete absence of disturbance, diversionary factors. In fact, Roman would intervene in the event that it is required, but Roman had